Okay, want to welcome everyone to another live edition of Halftime Chat, and definitely have some special guests with me. Um, for those regular to the show, they would know TL Cross, who is formerly of Ladae. He's been on twice before, and we want to welcome him back. But also, we got a special guest, Miss Nell Simmons. How are you doing, Nell?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Tone,
Awesome.
how are you doing?
Man, amazing, amazing. Right now, I'm down here in the beach right now. I was saying, but I'm
Oh
in
my
the
God.
beach. No, but I was telling Nell, I said, I was like, listen, I was gonna set up on the actual water. I was like, they're probably gonna cut, the signal will be bad. I said, ooh, y'all lucky.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, man?
Yes, I'm doing good. I mean, this is over here. We Easter is a big holiday. We get the Friday, Good Friday off as a public holiday, and then we get the Monday after Easter as a holiday. So then the kids normally break up for two weeks. So yeah, so I'm off
ah,
work for the next 2.5 weeks over Easter. So yeah, so it's good. Well, I mean, let us talk about how we ended up here. So I was scrolling through Instagram, and I noticed uh, Tone had shared a video with you, and that was the song Therapy, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And so then that's how I sort of got to know you. Now, I'm sure people in the States would know you, but we don't get the voice here in the UK. So I wouldn't have known that you're on there. But it would be great for you to introduce yourself. We do have people who watch and tune in from around the world. So it would be good to introduce yourself, where you're from and where you were born and raised now.
okay. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Nell. I'm born and raised in Louisiana. And yeah, I am absolutely excited to be here today. So I am looking forward to having this conversation for sure.
Okay, so so you're born and raised in New Orleans, and I guess those of us internationally would know about Mardi Gras, gumbo. What's the other thing? What's the language? It's the what did I speak? Creole.
Creole.
Yes,
Oh
thanks.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
What those might be things that New Orleans is known for, but how would you describe the New Orleans that you grew up in?
um, Same. I'm a Mardi Gras baby. I'm born in February, so every time Mardi
Oh,
Gras season is here, I'm kind of a part of that whole culture. Growing up, that's how my parents kind of introduced me to just like second lining and just jazz and brass music and stuff like that. So of course gumbo. I love what we call the Garden District here. I mean, I'm not big on. I don't want to say that like that because some people may want to visit NOLA and they might want to go see in Bourbon. I'm not a Bourbon girl. I'm more of a like Royal Street, which is still in the French Quarter. French Quarter is still a big part of what we're talking about. Food is exceptional. It's something that cannot be duplicated. The food here, it's just it's to me. I call it love. Like this food, when people cook here in New Orleans, they really make it with love, and you're gonna taste that. You're gonna taste that. So I will say the food, the music, the culture, Mardi Gras. Um, those are the things that stand out to me most when I think of New Orleans and what I have been a part of
Mhm.
in this city.
Well, let me just say this, man. New Orleans is the most unique place, one of the most unique places you ever go. And this is in the
Yeah.
world, because there's certain places you go in the world and it doesn't remind you of any other place. It is its own thing.
Yep.
New Orleans is 1,000% that, man.
oh.
Absolutely.
Culture.
Yeah.
I mean, but music. I know it's known a lot for it's. I think some of us who grew up watching James Bond, Live and Let Die. Was that New Orleans? I thought no, maybe not New Orleans. Maybe that was. I yes. All the sort of jazz and sort of the African fusion of music. How did you get into singing?
Well, for me, I grew up singing in the church first.
Okay.
I wasn't introduced to original secular music probably until I was, I guess, before I got into the digits. My parents had me singing in church, singing for my pastor next door, and then I kind of went to listening to Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, the Aretha Franklins and stuff like that, and Prince, and that's kind of where I began listening to those artists first. Later, it was later that I kind of learning more about the New Orleans and with jazz, that nature. So
Mm,
I would say my introduction was more gospel music,
okay.
and then R&B. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think. Go ahead, son.
I want to piggyback. I want to say something about her right quick, man. First of all, let me just start and say this. Some people might not know this. Nell is my cousin.
Oh.
All right. For those, Nell is my literal, she is my
Yes.
blood cousin. All right. So when you look at her, you are looking at just the culmination of our family, of our culture right there in New Orleans. When she first sang for me, she was 12
Yes.
years old. And yes, he sang a gospel song, Silver and Gold. Um,
Yes.
then, then they then they asked her to sing some of that there secular. And
Right.
she sang she sang I Will Always Love You
Whitney
by
Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Yep.
And from the very first time I did not know that she could sing. I was being told that she could sing, but I hadn't heard her sing yet. And when I heard her sing, I knew immediately that she has something special, and she has continued to nurture that. She's continued to grow. I mean, she's been all over the world, with that voice. I mean, she's been on television. She has been to many, many countries. I mean, just doing great stuff. And it is my honor and my pleasure to collaborate with her and work with her, because I only like doing stuff that I personally feel. And I'm so happy that she's on The Voice right now, because John Legend talked about it, how special she is. Adam Levine talked about how special she is. And I just want to welcome them to the party. You know what I'm saying? Because we've known this for some time now. And here's a great opportunity for her, man, to just really, really soar.
Okay. Did you know your cousin when he was part of Ladae and
Oh yeah.
part of that whole music stuff?
Definitely. And matter of fact, I was starstruck, legit. Star. I, I was growing up and I kept hearing about him as well. Like your cousin is like, well, they would say your cousin is famous. Your cousin is famous, and my father actually like. Long story short, my father really close. My father and his mother are the same. And so my dad would talk often about my cousin. We watch him on television. He was doing like backs for other artists. He was producing music. He was in Ladae. So I was like, oh my God, like this is too perfect. I'm already in this world. I love it so much. This is what I literally do. My parents, like I said, have me singing in church, singing for weddings and things like that in the industry. I was like starstruck. I couldn't believe it. So as I got older, to just know to see him at 12, and he was about, I want to say 18. I want to say something like that.
Something. Yeah, something like that.
And I was like, oh my God. I legit was like, oh my, he came down and I sang for him, and it just clicked. Everything, it just clicked. We always just had great musical chemistry, taste. I learned so much from him. He's so polished, and just his level of interest has always made me want to grow and learn more musically, history wise, or knowledgeable of what music is. I learned so much from him. It's like it graduated once my cousin and I began.
But then, when you heard her sing at 12, did you think, okay, there could be something here? Especially, you started very young. Did you think, okay, or what was your impressions, and what did you think you may help do?
Well, let me tell you. In the very beginning, yes, I knew it was something special. I'm gonna tell you, when there was I went down there often, and when and here's the funny thing. The house that she grew up in, like my mom practically grew up in that house too. You know? So,
oh yes, that's true.
Yo, like, yeah. So the thing is, like,
wow.
I went down there one time. Yeah, no doubt. You already listen. I went down there one time, and she wasn't 12 anymore. She was probably maybe 14 at this time, maybe 14 or 15. And I went down there, and what they would do is, my cousins, they would perform together. Like they would sing, she would sing, and they'd back her up. They'd do choreography and stuff. And I remember, let me be clear about something. This is something I've never said publicly before. But there was a shift between when I was in one group, which was Ladae, and the next group was Morris and Slick. That was the group band that I was in with Jimmy Jam, on Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's Flight Time. All right. There was a shift musically in me that happened between those two periods. That literally happened when I went down to New Orleans one time and she sang. I went down to New Orleans and I was watching her sing, and I was like, yo, I need to do something. I'm like, listen, I'm inspired, because what was happening was, I was, at the time, man, what they would tell us is, be more polished, right? Be more clean cut. In this way, you could cross over. All right. And this is what they would constantly tell us. So what we would do is we would like scale back some of that soul, some of that, that kind of, so that grit, we would scale it back. And I went down there and she was just singing, and she had never been a part of the industry yet. There was nobody in her ear telling her to giving her any type of a ceiling. And so I just was watching her, and I was like, yo, that is how it's done. Like, that is how you do it. That is what you need to do. You need to, that free spirit. And so she's always inspired me. That is a difference that you hear in me, in my music. A lot of that had to do with an awakening that came from her. All right. Now, what I said was, once I got my footing and I got at least one hit as a producer and as a writer, it became, all right, how can I and my cousin work together, because they need to hear her. Like, people need to hear her. And we started come up to New York. She came up to New York. It was her first time coming up to New York. And we just started working, bro. And from then and there, I feel like we've done so many things together, but this is like a shining moment. You see how the light is shining on us right now? That's God right there. That's God, bro. You know, like, that's the Lord Almighty. You know, but it's a special time, man. It's a special moment, and I am so happy to be a part of this. Thank you for having us on here, because we've never done a.
You're right. Anyway. This is wild. Thank you. Yeah, legit. Seriously.
Yeah, I know that we're going to talk at the new single Therapy, and just understand just the creation of it and things. But I guess for those now, I'm surprised. How does it work? Because back in the day, I thought when you were like on all these shows like X Factor, American Idol stuff, that you're almost sort of in a bubble until you're out of the show, and then have things changed? Because I said we don't get it here, with that you are allowed to release a song and do your own shows. What? How is that possible?
I think things have kind of changed in that way. Great news is once we became a part of this platform, where hey, we want you to release music, do your thing, and it was really refreshing because some time ago it was different, you know. So they did make it clear that I know that people have questions about releasing music. You can release music. We're not trying, you know. They don't want to stop and slow down your program and what you want to kind of do. So yeah, it's been pushed and promoted. A lot of us are doing just that. So
Okay, how are you? I mean, so I take it. And as I said, for those of us who don't watch, who watch the TV, I just assumed you guys would just all be in a hotel in LA. You know, you have to do the rehearsals and everything. But is that the case as well? Because I think, as I said, my wife and I used to watch American Idol when it started and stuff, and
yeah,
so
Let me jump in. Let me jump in because I know. No, let me say this because although they're not in a bubble, and they're allowed to release music and stuff, I do think, and Nell, you can
yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong. I do think they are restricted as far as what they can talk
yeah,
about in reference to maybe the behind the
okay,
scenes and that
okay,
kind of
okay,
stuff like
okay.
that.
yeah. They're
But I do think I do think there was some LA involved though.
absolutely, yeah, for sure. But definitely, yeah. They kind of wants to keep certain things, you know, where people are shocked or surprised or they find out as they watch
Okay,
and things like that. But for
yeah.
sure, um, yes, working with all these people has been amazing, you know, and I love California, so it's yeah, it's an amazing process. I will say that for sure.
I, I think the other question is, what's it like being on national TV?
Oh,
Because
I
from
love
where
it.
you were before, yeah, no, but seriously, I
Oh,
mean,
I love it.
from where
I
you were
love
just
it.
doing your shows.
I've been waiting for this moment, you know, and I have been on national TV before because I toured on, you know, with another artist named Trombone Shorty, and we've done Jimmy Kimmel, we've done Stephen Colbert, we've done Good Morning America, we've done all of these shows. Experience with kind of being on television with the just behind the scenes of how to maneuver and things like that. So once I, you know, got on NBC, I was like, I'm feeling right at home. I'm feeling right at home. I loved it. I love the entire process. Um, I love all the cameras and just the direct. You know, I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm at home. It's uh, you know, and I am a person who is a perfectionist, so I would normally worry about things that really kind of don't matter. But doing this, there's so many hands involved. There's so many. I love the whole team thing and people collaborating to make things perfect, just make things the way I would want it to be presented. So I just felt so comfortable. Everybody did their part. You know, they do their part all the time. So I felt at home. I felt good about everything. I still feel great about it. So it's definitely dope. Some people it's intimidating. Some people don't like it. Some people don't like how they appear once they see it back. Me, I've been enjoying the show. I've been
But
enjoying the
how's
show.
it like seeing your cousin on national TV? Spotlight. Because if you're backup singers for others, it's one thing. But now you're part of the show. I mean, Tone, what's it like just seeing your little 12? You're 12. No, she's not 12 anymore. But when you looking out back to like, man, I remember you sing then, and look where you are now.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, the first thing I said when I saw her on national television with the spotlight on her was I was like, first and foremost, she sounds amazing. They had a mic'd up just right, acoustics crazy, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, I said, listen, I said she looks great, like she looks photogenic, she looked like the lighting, the cameras, everything was just marvelous. Everything was just hitting her perfectly.
Marvelous.
And I was just marvelous, you know what I'm saying? Outstanding, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt I felt like, man, like, yo, she's built for this. Like she's built for this. Like she has been working towards this moment, and that's what it felt like for me. Now, that was my first. I had two thoughts. My first thought was, she is built for this moment, and she is killing it. Like, she is hitting the ball out of the park. She is hitting a home run right now. And I was like, I mean, I always knew it. That's the first thing. But then just the cousin in me is like, oh my God, she gonna be feeling herself. Next time I see her, she's gonna be like, "Did you see me?" You know. I'm like, I'm gonna have to let her talk for a while, let her feel good, you know.
Oh
And then
my
after that,
goodness.
it's like, look, we got some work to do, but she's always working. She is known in New Orleans. She is known abroad, and it's time for people to, and then she's starting to really be known just as her own entity and as a recording artist with this new single out,
Yes.
Therapy. It is just something. I've been waiting for this moment for her, and I'm I'm just a part of the audience. Like, when she gets up there and starts doing her thing, I'm just a part of
Wow.
the audience. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And I'm it feels great. It's almost like watching, it's like, I'm a sports fan. So it's almost like watching a great, basketball player, with the ball. It's like you're confident that they're gonna make it. Like, you're
Wow.
confident that they're gonna take the game under control, and you feel great, and you just in the audience. And every time they shoot, you hold your breath, because probably going in, because they that good. Like, she's just that good. When she opens her mouth, I know that the note is gonna
Oh,
ring like a
wow.
bell. I know it.
You. Wow. Oh, cousin.
Cousin, how did you guys then reconnect when you were on the show? Were you keeping in touch throughout the whole process, or was it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Of course we call family, chat all the time, FaceTime, all the
Mhm,
things. So oh absolutely. And
mhm,
he's one of the people in my life that, I'm calling about,
mhm,
hey, we're talking about pretty much everything, just my experience, everything. He's always he gives me tips, and I receive it all because it's all just kind of molded me into and the artist I am and where I'm going, where I'm trying to go, what I'm trying to be, establish, accomplish. So he's one of those people that I need to basically go to him sometimes, and I need just that extra push or something,
mhm,
feedback, just, advice,
mhm,
because
mhm,
I'm never gonna. I'm ever growing, and I'm always a student, and I'm always ready to know and learn more about what I can do next to get to this next level. So absolutely, all
mhm,
the time.
Okay. Now, I was going to ask about how the idea of therapy came about. I've been seeing people saying 504. I don't know what is that. Is that? Is that is
That's
this-
that's our area code here in New
oh,
Orleans,
okay.
504. Yeah, we're in a 5-4. That's New
Okay.
Orleans. That's New Orleans.
Okay. Okay. So it was saying 504 in the house and stuff.
Yeah,
I think
504.
no doubt.
504. So now it just clicking. Master P, 504 Boys, Cash
Yeah,
Money. Is
Cash
the city big
Money
enough for all those with everyone just because they put them in New Orleans sort of on the map for
on the
hip
map.
hop. But
Yes.
was there any R&B or soul singer coming out of New Orleans back in the day?
Well, more now. You're hearing more now about R&B artists becoming like really hitting that star level status. Of course, many artists came
Mhm.
out of NOLA, but there are people like the Trombone Shorties right now, the John Baptiste right now. We have the
No,
Tank and the Bangers,
Jean-Baptiste.
you know. Um, these are newer artists, but they are really putting New Orleans on the map for real now, as far as R&B is concerned. We have the Lucky Days, we have the Luke James, so
Okay,
um,
I know this
and
one.
we have the Nells, you know. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's you know,
of course, you gotta drop your name there.
Listen, listen, yo, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this to add on to that. If I take it a little bit further back, there was this band, the Meters.
yes,
In the Meters, ultimately out of the Meters came the
yep,
Neville brothers,
Okay.
and out of the Neville brothers came Aaron
Mm.
Neville.
yeah,
All right. Now, you go back before that, you got to talk about Jelly Roll Morton, who's one of the very first earliest people doing
mm,
jazz. But listen,
Domino,
arguably the very
yeah,
first, yeah, yeah. Listen, Fats Domino, who is arguably one of the no, no, not arguably, he is one of the absolute
yeah,
founders of rock and
Mm.
roll music. And then
really,
you got to go to arguably maybe the first recording artist superstar that has ever existed, and that would be
Louis,
Louis
yeah,
Armstrong.
Mm.
Louis,
Right? And Louis Armstrong was an international superstar, pop culture star, and he was in film, television. I mean, he inspired generations of musicians, generations of
yeah,
singers, because there are singers like Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday that was influenced by Louis Armstrong. I mean, so it's so many. I mean, Wynton Marsalis and the
yes,
Mm.
Marsalises,
Okay. Yeah.
coming.
yeah.
So it's so much coming out of New Orleans. My family, man. And like I said, when I look at Nell, I'm seeing everybody. I'm seeing my mom. I'm seeing my grandmother. I'm seeing my mother. Yeah, the auntie. I'm seeing all the cousins.
Oh my
I'm
God,
seeing
yeah.
everybody, man. And it's like that's the beauty of watching her do this, because every time she does something, like I just feel so proud. I'm a fan.
Thank you,
I
Cuz.
mean,
Likewise.
but then how did you guys? So whose idea was it to say, let's while you're on The Voice, I'm gonna put out a single, um, and then, but I need to tap up my cousin to help me on that. Whose idea was that? How did that come about?
I think it was just known. Like
It's
it. I
understood
mean,
already. Yeah.
it's already what's
What's
already
understood.
understood don't need to be said.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
legit.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, talk about therapy, because let me just say, let me set you up perfect. Let me set you up lovely.
Oh my God.
We we really have therapy sessions on the phone among the two of us all the time.
Yeah.
Like that's a theme. Like that's a theme between the two of us, is just, yeah, man, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So talk about how you just, because you singing therapy, there's nobody else in this world that I want to hear sing that song
Wow.
except for you. So go ahead, talk about
Okay. Oh, this is exciting and it's also overwhelming at the same time. Okay. Um, this is really the the perfect record. I want to say this too. Tone knows me so well. Um, and we are like brother and sister actually. And as he said, we have therapy sessions literally on the phone,
it.
talking about just this coming, to him with things like why, and just him being an ear to come together, to collaborate, to put words together, to put things I say that we discuss and into this record. And for us to just really know the words to say, it just is just so perfect. Therapy is, and I want to say this, um, I'm big on therapy. I have had life experiences where I can't not be big on therapy. It's needed for sure, and it's promoted even in this record. as I my guide, my shrink, it's promoted, right? Um, Therapy, but there's so many other things that are therapeutic for me. I love
Mhm.
travel. I love a new scenery. I love greenery. I love blue water. I love talking to my cousin about my
Mhm.
day.
Mhm.
I love my family. Talking to my spouse, talking to my kids. I love
Mhm.
um, oneness. And so these
Mhm.
things, I want to. This is to me helping me. This is my therapy. This
Mhm.
song has been therapy for me. On top of when I get out of that session, and when I have to go on with my day or my week, and I can't just hit up my therapist or something. Um, what keeps me going is God, um,
Mhm.
travel, the sun,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
watching my kids, my loved ones being happy and whole, hearing from my parents. We put all of that
Mhm.
in this song.
Mhm.
So all of this, and I'm gonna use the word gumbo. I'm from New Orleans. All of this gumbo, this rich gumbo, just
Mhm.
it makes it complete for me. And I want people to get on that train because I think right now in 2025 and for some time now, lots of time you may go to a friend and you may say, I'm having a bad day. I just want to quit, or
Mhm.
I want to quit my job or something. You might just say something like that. To me, to kind of tell someone, or just get some therapy. You need to get some therapy or something. It's almost like saying, I don't want to hear your problems. Like, just go get some help.
Right.
And to me, what we're missing in this world right now is love. There's a song that says that what the world needs now is when somebody can't talk to a person that they consider, you are my confidant. You are who I'm coming to with this matter or this issue or whatever. And I can't hear your voice, or you can't simply say, "What's up? Let's talk." Like, what you want to say. It's not always that I need to go and sit and talk to my therapist. It may be in that moment. I'm having a moment. And so I
Yeah.
think what's happening is so many people are just like, get therapy. Just go get some therapy. Something's wrong with you, about every single thing that's happening in your life. And we're
Mhm.
getting away from um,
Mhm.
being there for each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
loving each other, showing that you care about
Mhm.
this person past today. I don't have time for this today. So that is it hits home for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, listen. Let me, and she put it brilliantly. And let me just add that this song to me, and I think one of the things that she's talking about is when people say get therapy, sometimes people are trying to be dismissive and
Yeah.
don't understand the humanity in totality. And so the thing that, we've talked about therapists, like I was shout out to Quentin, like we were talking about which therapist
Yeah.
should Nell go to. We were right, I mean,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, but here's the thing. I feel like this is one of those songs that is entirely human. Entirely human. It's like, we're talking about that therapy part of your life. We're talking about all things therapeutic. We're talking about love of family. We're talking about a hug and embrace. We're talking about the wisdom of an elder. We're
Yes.
talking about all of these things. It acknowledges the entire human experience, instead of just being dismissive. There's
Yeah.
so many things and so many parts of us, and of course, therapists know that.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it. Also, right quick, my guy on here, man, he's throwing a few other New Orleans
I
names
saw
in there.
that. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
glad
You're
that
right. Irma Thomas, man, you're right. Like,
yo,
oh my God, chocolate milk.
Mahel, yeah,
Wait, my brain just went blank,
Mahel,
but you're so Mahalia Jackson, yes. Oh my
Mahalia
God.
Jackson, man. He mentioned, you said R&B. He mentioned Ledisi,
Let us see. Yes. I've never listened
and
before. Oh my
Frank
goodness.
Frank Ocean and stuff like that.
Frank
So,
Ocean.
you know, so many. Now, listen, one thing New Orleans is gonna do is New Orleans is gonna constantly create new eras,
Yes.
and we're in a new era. And I think, like, this era right here, one of the great voices and minds of this era is we're talking to her right now, and that's Nell out of New Orleans.
Well, definitely, definitely. Well, as a therapist, it is a nice song as well.
Thank you.
I started this channel May of 2020, and this was during lockdown, and one of the things that I had to work, doing sessions online, and which was challenging, and this was an outlet, but it was also a way of trying to talk to recording artists, to talk about how they overcame their challenges, but also the fact that they actually reached out to get help. They got therapists, and they weren't just, praying. Praying is great, but they needed to get professional help. And
Yeah.
so this has been, for the last 5 years, this has been the whole theme of when things were low, what did you do? So just trying to normalize therapy.
Yeah.
So of course, I think apart from the vocals, the lyrics, and the production, I think just the title really intrigued me and said, "Wow, this is really, really good and really important," because globally, those of us of color shy away from therapy. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It seems like a taboo. We'd rather talk to our friends, and which isn't a bad thing. But when you have some real deep issues, you do need somebody
Yes.
professional who's objective, who can
Yeah.
listen and sort of guide you through those things. So I was definitely impressed that you guys are really advocating and speaking about therapy because, as I said, for our culture, it is something that we're still at the back when we still don't take it seriously.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Definitely
here's a
agree.
great opportunity. Here's a great opportunity for us to have these conversations, that we're
Yeah.
having right now. And listen, at the end of the day, the joint is it's just hot. The song is hot.
Oh, this is about to be the spring and summer banger. I'm loving it. OMG. And shout out to TL Cross. I mean, just it's just I can't ever I can't say enough how brilliant he is, how he pulls out and helps, to bring to life these ideas and these phrases and the language. And I want to say I'm honored to be working with such just like a such a like your top tier, and I
Mm.
couldn't have found a better producer, writer, composer, lyricist, all the things than you. And I always said, you know, I know producers here, I know producers everywhere, but this one is special, and I've always made that known. And outside of being your cousin, the work ethic, everything that you do is quality, and that was more important to me. And this is what I wanted to get across
Wow.
when I got you to do what I'm doing on this level right now. And so again, promoting therapy is, again, I talked about and dug into all of that yet, but I've gone through some things that are just unimaginable, and therapy is my friend. I also want to make sure that I'm surrounded by love though as well, because it makes it worse to deal with things that you cannot avoid dealing with when those pieces are missing. And that's what I want people to get out of this record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, part of my treatment sometimes is like, can I work with kids, so 21 down to 5 years old. So
Oh,
a different, and part of my treatment sometimes is connecting the kids with their teenagers with their parents, and
Mm.
that's
oh yeah,
part of the therapeutic journey because they're kids become teenagers, they're in their rooms, they're doing everything in their rooms on their phones. Families different, and if I'm treating depression, I'm like, no, you guys need to connect, have bond, and you'd be surprised. Um,
yeah,
let's talk about, okay, how did it, okay, so you've talked about the phone calls and stuff, but then did you guys get in the studio and you were like, okay, so we write this, and did the music come first, or I mean, what that's the, he's a student of Jimmy and Terry, and Albie Shaw's as
So
producer
yeah.
writers, so I want to see.
Yeah.
Let me start this. Let me start this and I'll pass it to her. So Nell takes trips to New York. All right. And when she comes to New York, we work. We have ideas, we try stuff out, and she also has her own studio herself, so there's many ways that things get done. She gets tracks from people, she works on them, she writes them, she creates them, she sends them to me, and I listen, and we have conversations. She has great stuff. And then there are times where I might send her some stuff that I have. She might write to it. I might have an idea and say, check this idea out. She may finish it, so on and so forth. And then there's other times, as I said, we get in the studio, maybe we might start something from scratch or whatever. It's so funny
Yeah.
because time, this time, it we weren't in the same
Crazy.
place at the same time. We were literally, I'm in my house in Queens, she's in her house in New Orleans, and we just started having this conversation. Next thing you know, one thing started leading to another. A song was born. She had some ideas, she put some stuff on it, sent it back to me. I said, "Oh, now I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add this now." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just became this kind of, it's hard to even explain. It just happened. You know what I'm
It
saying?
really did. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, he definitely started the foundation, and we just went from there and just kind of went back and forth. And this melody, this I mean, first of all, I heard it, I was like, this is I don't think there's much that I hear, or if none at all, where I'm like, okay, I don't like this. So whenever I get, music, beats, things that he's working on and created from him, I'm always like, this is so dope. And I'm very careful to not rush and do something that I know I wouldn't be proud of or that he wouldn't be proud of. So when we started and then he laid some things, the foundation down, I was like, okay, this is fire. And so it was just easy to kind of just, keep it going, run with it, and add to it, and set the, set the tone, and the vibe and the mood, and speak the way I would speak if I were talking to him. While I'm saying this is the emotion that I'm feeling. And then he'd be like, hey, do this and try this. And matter of fact, put a little bit of, this on that. And it kind of, it really did just happen. Because we worked on
Yeah.
a lot of material. But this just felt,
Mm.
it was at the perfect time, truly.
No, it was. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, some of that other stuff you all are definitely gonna hear, because we have some great stuff. This was
Yes.
like the perfect thing at the perfect time. My cousin is very, she is
Overthinker.
she no, yeah, definitely. She's an overthinker. She's an overthinker. So, but the thing is, like, when I think of her, I think of like rhythms, because I think like New Orleans is known to be extremely rhythmic. If you
Yes.
go even back to Congo Square and all the history of it,
Mhm.
it's rhythm, a melody in rhythm.
In
And
rhythm.
I thought about this cadence, drum wise, and I thought about
Mhm.
her. But I'm gonna tell you something she's not gonna tell you. So I played the idea. So the idea was there. She heard the idea and she cried. She was crying
I
when
was
she.
crying. Oh my goodness. I mean, I already played the
Wow.
song over and 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 over again. Like, but I literally was in my, oh my God, I got so emotional on a few occasions, and I'm just like, oh my God, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
crazy. Like,
That's
yeah,
how I knew.
oh yes,
That's
I
how
was
I
like,
knew.
this is
Yo,
crazy the way I feel right now listening to this song back. Oh my goodness. So
yeah, that's
yeah,
how I knew.
for sure. Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
goodness.
that's how I knew, because my thing was, listen, the one thing Terry Lewis taught me is he would say, "How do
Hmm.
you feel about it? How do you feel about the song?" And he would say, "Because after we're finished here, you have to be the
Yep.
one to sing it. I don't have to sing it." You know what I'm saying? So you're going to go all these places and you're going to sing it. So he would say, "How do you feel about this?" And when she, like, just, it was a very
Yeah.
rough thing. But once she heard that, just whether it was the beat, the melody, and just the concept of where this could go, of the possibilities, and it touched her like that, I said, we
Yeah.
got to do it. I said, because you're going to sing the hell out of this song. And then when you get out there, you'll be able to connect
Yes.
with the song. And that's why she said it. She said it in this interview right here, that this has been therapy
Absolutely.
for her.
I've imagined how I'm gonna
There you have
perform
it.
this. I literally get in my head, and I'm a person that my imagination is something that I live in, right? So I'm always picturing what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna say it, like what I want the visuals to look like, who's in the visual. I've thought about so many different things, and it always brings tears to my eyes thinking about what I want to share, what's in my head that I have to get out, how I want to present this, how I want to go crazy on this live. And I'm totally invested in this production.
Wow. Are we gonna get a therapy remix featuring Tone?
Oh, we should do that.
Oh, man. That's crazy. Well, you know what?
Hello.
Here's what I'll say. So here's what I will say. What I will say is that if you listen to therapy, I can be heard because there's a little bit of background vocals
Yep.
that I'm on. When you hear the voice say, "Get therapy."
We're talking
That's
about
funny.
a duet kind of remix, like
Come on,
when
man.
Brandy and Wane did "Broken Hearted" kind of thing. So yeah, so that's
Broken hearted.
you sing the second verse and then you will come in.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm talking about.
That might be a
Listen,
great idea.
anything is possible.
Oh yeah.
Anything is possible, man. I love singing with
Yes.
my cousin.
Oh my
I
God.
love just being a
Yes.
fan, just watching her do her thing as well. So with me, when she's singing, I got to keep it 100. When she's singing, oftentimes I'm not even thinking about singing. I'm just marveling at what she's doing,
Wow.
and then, because we've sung together before, and it's like, all right, now it's my turn. And I'm like, oh yeah, my bad. I was in the moment, you know what I'm saying? So it's so funny. I hadn't even thought about it or whatever, but listen, she's getting out here and she's starting to perform live. She's starting to get out here and do, her thing. Of course, she is currently on The Voice. All right. Killing it, but I'm sure at some point you will see her in a place near you singing
Yes.
therapy. And if I'm there, your boy might hop up on stage for a second.
We need the TL remix.
Yes, we need
Singing
to
the
see our
second verse.
remix. I'm down. Yeah.
So what about
Oh,
was that a vocoder or a top box you used? Yeah.
on therapy? On what part? The part that
Yeah, was
says
that
get
a
therapy?
vocoder or a top box?
That's just the tone of your man. You know what I'm saying?
No, I could hear the little Teddy Riley kind of thing. There's
Yeah. Nah, you talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
the
ooze.
ooze that were just
That's straight up. That's straight
Yes,
up, brother.
that's straight up. He's doing it. That's
That's straight up.
crazy, right?
No, no vocoder, man. And listen, I'm a huge Teddy fan. I'm a Roger Troutman fan. I'm a Herbie Hancock fan. But nah, that's no vocoder used, man. That's straight up.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Listen. Look. If I'm gonna put some vocals on a song with
Oh
Nell,
my goodness.
I have to come correct. I have to make sure that my vocals are on point because I know what she's gonna that it meets the criteria. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
listening to the track, I mean, it. I'm sure people will say that it brings back memories of a singer who had that type of style. And I don't know if before I say it, if you guys had any idea who I might be thinking about.
Listen. There,
Okay.
there's Carla Thomas. You know what I'm saying? There's so many. Is Nina Simone? You're probably thinking about Amy Winehouse.
I
Bingo.
legit.
You really think about Amy Winehouse. But
Is
listen,
that who you're
listen.
thinking?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I think with Amy Winehouse, may she rest in peace, who's a
Yeah.
great artist. We're fans, like we
Oh,
love
amazing.
Amy Winehouse, and I think what you hear is a common admiration for some of many of the same people. Because and the reason why I brought up Carla Thomas is if you go back and listen to Carla Thomas G Wiz's Christmas and you listen to the drums on stacks, it
Mm-hmm.
goes boom boom cat catch boom boom. See, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a cadence that's been living throughout our culture for so long. And then I think like we sit around, we listen to I'm gonna let her say the name of it. There's a song by Ella Fitzgerald we love. What is it?
Mr. Paganini?
Mr. Paganini. All right. So we got Ella in the pan. We got
Oh
Billy in the
yeah.
pan. We got Nina Simone in the pan. We got the Clark sisters in there. We
Yes.
have so many inspirations that I think when I've heard Amy Winehouse also talk about, and also shout out to Salam Remy because he's also another Queens guy, lived right around the corner from me, the producer who did a lot of stuff with Amy Winehouse. There's that connection as well. So I think what you're hearing is really a very, very deep cultural
Yeah.
thing that we share with people like Amy Winehouse. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's for sure like the sound that I live that sound for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Chuck Berry comes up with, or Little Richard comes up with rock and roll, but then
Mm-hmm.
Elvis sort of took it to the masses, and so and you hear, yeah, and so that's when you can always you hear a sound and think you forget the originators and the creators, you think who made it popular, and then
Yeah.
you start, yeah,
So see, and the thing is, I'm glad you said that because so many things in our culture, it's hard to even pinpoint sometime the very first. What you'll find is something was happening culturally.
Yeah.
And what we can usually find is some of the people who popularized a thing, but some of what we talking about, like the Fats Dominoes and all of that, they
Yeah.
they that stuff was like innate. You heard it in New Orleans. And before we go, because I know Nell has to go, and I
mm.
have to go as well because she's doing a residency
I
or whatever.
am
Okay,
in NOLA.
Yeah.
okay, I thought you stopped with Fat Domino and you just
No,
stopped. Okay,
my bad. You know what? I was you know what? Because I noticed the time, so I was like, you know what? I'm probably gonna wrap it up. But I just wanted to say I just wanted to say that um so many people, you name Chuck Berry, you name Little Richard, we're talking about Fast Domino. A lot
Yeah.
of the things that they loved had been being done prior to them. And it's hard to pinpoint one person, but they perfected it. They wrapped it
Yeah.
up, they brought it
Studied
out to
it.
the
Yeah.
public, mastered a thing. And that's that's what we talking about. It's really culture.
Yeah.
okay. Well, I know you. So now, can you tell us one where people can find you, social media and stuff, and two how they can find out about your where you're performing?
Absolutely. So I am on IG underscore Nell Simmons underscore Bradley. You'll see that. But if you type in Nell Simmons, you will see what you've been using. On I think it is on Facebook. It's I'm under Nell Simmons on YouTube. Same TikTok. Once you put in Nell, and you may put in Nell Simmons, you'll see profile come up. I can probably like type it somewhere too, maybe. Oh no, probably not.
Yeah, no,
And I
I'll
am
put it in this description. Yes.
Yes, I am performing here in New Orleans. I do have two residencies actually. One at Nopsey, which is in New Orleans, in the Central Business District, Nopsey Hotel, and I also have Windsor Court, which is on Fridays. Windsor Court Hotel is on Friday nights. I also am currently in the process of planning a showcase where I'm going to perform and do and of course do my song. here in New Orleans. And I'm also looking in other spaces right now, looking to see, looking at venues in New York and in LA to possibly go out and promote the song. So yeah, kind of moving and grooving in different spots. But every Wednesday and Friday, I have a residency where I'm performing weekly, and I'm going to invite people to come. I mean, I've invited people to come out this evening. So I'm going to play the song. It's been out for less than a week now, so I want to have them to play. We're going to all be performing with my band and talk about the next part of the process of The Voice, which is knockouts, and I'm on that, which is coming up within the next week. So yeah, that's what
Okay.
that's a little bit about where you can find me, what I'm doing, and what the future holds.
So where can we stream the single? Because some people like me, I must admit, I listen to songs on YouTube,
Oh,
Oh yeah,
because Spotify is so controlled and stuff. So, but is it? Are we going to get a visual, or are we just going to lyric video, or what? Are we going to be able to get any of that on YouTube?
you're gonna get a lyric video. You're gonna get a visual. You're gonna get a live performance version of it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, there's some things happening right now that's gonna. I want people to continue to enjoy hearing it, see new visuals that go with it, to keep it in your ears, keep your ear gates open to what therapy has to offer. You know, I don't want people to just kind of say, okay, I've heard it, but now I want to see. No, it's gonna happen. It's happening. I've got some things in the works, and you can hear it on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal. I mean, it's on Amazon Music. It is on
everywhere.
Dora. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. On Instagram, if you put your post up, you can add a song to it. It's everywhere.
Okay. And then hopefully we'll soon get as we're trying to keep it going, we get the
Yeah.
TL remix featuring
Yeah, the TR
singing the
remix
second
on the
verse,
golden thing.
singing the second verse and stuff like that. You know,
You gonna let it go.
no,
Yes.
because I've so when he came to perform in London last year, and he was the lead singer of Ladae. He's,
Yes.
everyone wanted him to sing. I'll be sure and
Thank
rest. So,
you.
you've got to give him his flowers as well. So it's
Absolutely.
great to see the two of you guys shining together. But
Listen,
I must say, really, I was really impressed with the production, and I'm really impressed the fact that you've all the stuff that you've done in the past that you're like, I need to showcase that. And so the fact that you collaborate with your cousin,
yeah.
she
Yeah.
brings a really distinct, amazing vocal. The lyrics and the production, it's just really impressive, and definitely want to make sure that a lot of people hear it as much as they can and really support this single.
Listen, she's amazing. Nell Simmons, pick it up. Therapy is everywhere. Listen, dance, cry, feel good, have a good time. It does all of that. You listen, when you're
All of
sad, it sounds sad. When you're happy, it sounds happy. It's all of that stuff, man. So, yo, we looking forward to seeing you. Nell, rise, your star rise. We're looking forward to seeing you on The Voice. We're looking forward to seeing all your performances and stuff. Me, I'm a part of it, but I'm also just a fan, and we looking forward to it. I love you, cousin. Word.
Thank you. I love you too. I love
Okay.
you too. Thank you so much for always being in my corner, believing in me, collabing, making me rise to the occasion when I have been wavered and all the things. So thank you so much. I just really do as well. Thank you for always putting out quality, educating us, keeping us sharp. Thank you so
Oh
much.
yeah,
And
yeah.
thank you so much for having me today on your chat. Like, this was a vibe halftime chat. I enjoyed this. I wish you could do this again. Too. I like it. I love it.
Don't worry. We'll bring you back when the remix is coming out with Toad.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna let that go.
Look at me.
um, okay, so you say I'm not seeing it on Apple. So hopefully, I didn't
So you
see
can,
it.
yeah,
I
it'll
didn't
be
see it
Nell.
on YouTube though, because I tried it on YouTube. That's when I reached out. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it is if it has gone
Don't
to
put in
everywhere.
Nell
So that's
Simmons. Yeah, just put Nell and then therapy.
okay.
Yeah.
Just try put Nell and then therapy, and then
Yeah.
we'll see it. Okay.
And you should
I Okay, well, I appreciate both of you. I'm going to, in the description of this, I will put your social media links and everything, and a Spotify link to the song. I appreciate both of you, but we'll have to do this again when you're both back in, when you have time and space as well. It'd be great to
Perfect.
be able to
I'm
bring
looking
you guys
forward to
back.
it.
Yes, and then when are you next on The Voice? And so people, are you?
So we are in week 2 of knockouts on The Voice. Now we're going into week 3. So you may see me in week 3, which is next week, for knockouts. You may see me on there. So I will definitely confirm soon. Exciting. I'm so excited. So be on the lookout on NBC Monday nights, Peacock on Tuesdays. Be on the lookout.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you guys, man. Thanks a lot for the time.
Thank you so
soon.
much.
Much
You're
love.
welcome. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind.
And somewhere in between us, or even loving us, on which I didn't miss you.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas' voice winning Oscars.
play it.
And all these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.